Biofriendly podcast. It's the Biofriendly podcast.
Just for us, guys. This is our time. Down here.
Up there.
I'm taking these. These are my dreams, and I'm taking them back.
What I'm curious about is go so far from the microphone.
So far.
Is
so
can I make an admission on public radio?
Of course.
To our thousands of listeners.
National Public Radio.
I did not understand that part of the movie when I saw it at a very young age, and now that I have heard you say again, it's our time. You know, from the Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, it's their time.
Mm-hmm.
Up there,
Mm-hmm.
this is my wish,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm taking it back.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff, right?
Right.
At the time, I saw it and I was like, okay, so it's our, so they're, why do we care about their time? So are they sending down the and at the time I was very
just
confused.
went right over
I was
your
like,
head.
I don't understand why he's taking his wish back. Because it didn't come true. I mean, it didn't come true, and so he's given. I don't know. There is something.
No, Mouth was just a klepto. He's going to steal all the money and be like, "It's mine, baby."
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was a really significant moment, and I didn't. And I remembered not understanding at the time. And now that I'm older and I've watched the movie a few more times, I watched that scene, and I think I just kind of, laugh and remember the lines and glaze over it. But now that we're here,
Yes.
and we're talking to. It's just us three.
It's just us three girls,
Nobody
and
else
there's
is-
only thousands of people watching
from afar. I think I still have no idea what the hell's going on in that scene.
I'm going to tell you what happened there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened there.
Okay.
Goonies are children.
Okay.
They're children.
They're children.
And they never say die.
They never say die.
I that part I got. I understood that
But
part.
guess who wrote the script?
Who wrote the script?
Oh, man.
An adult.
God dang it.
An adult.
An adult wrote that script.
So that's why that whole scene, we look at it now
Yeah.
and we go like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's it. But when we were children, we're watching a bunch of children talk about something
That they don't even get what they're saying.
they don't even
No.
get what they're saying. And I truly do believe that. I truly do believe that writing a character, Mouth, who's clearly coming from like a home of possibly abuse
Yeah.
and a bad situation,
Yeah.
that it's a pretty profound moment to have.
Right.
For both of them. This is
Yeah.
our time down here. It's their time up there. These are speeches that are written by somebody who's lived a little bit.
Right.
And has been through some hardships and some pain and has looked back and
Perspective.
and they reflected on childhood.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you grow up? It's like what do they say in the Sandlot? The last time you go outside to play with your friends, you never know it's the last time.
Right.
It's
Ooh,
that in the
heartbreaking.
It's a heartbreaking thing.
Oh,
you never
boy.
know it's
True.
the last time. These things resonate with you as an adult. You look back and you go, "Oh no,"
Yeah.
and it's heavy.
Oh,
and then
man.
the speech that Sean Astin is giving, while he does a great job as an actor, he's a child, and children at our age watching Goonies, we're not able to kind of put adulthood and childhood side by side yet.
Right.
But the writer can, and
Right.
so that's why you're not alone.
Right.
We all kind of are like, huh.
So it still doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does. It
Well,
does.
I think I need to watch it and actually really not just sit there in like that euphoric
Yeah.
I'm watching Goonies state, but
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
pay attention to the moment because I
Yeah.
quote it all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm realizing as I quote it, I still haven't figured out what the hell was going on.
Yeah,
there.
because I mean, I guess they're losing their houses, right?
Right,
They're this is the last hurrah for the Goonies,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But those are their dreams, and he's taking them back. He wants them back.
Think about you're throwing a coin in a fountain, right? And you're saying,
Yeah.
I want a bike for my birthday.
and it didn't come true.
It didn't come true.
Right.
I want a girlfriend, and it didn't come true. These are things that when you're a child and you go and you have a penny or a quarter and you're in a fountain,
Yeah.
what do you wish for? You
Yeah,
wish for
yeah.
very, very small things. I mean,
Right.
maybe if you're in a bad household, you wish,
Right.
I wish my home life was better, or I wish mom would come home. Sure. You can wish
she
for
doesn't.
something really
Right,
dark
right,
like that.
right.
But to be standing there and surrounded by coins and
Well, because they
water.
were taking everyone else's coins first, right?
Yes.
And they
Right,
put
they
them
were
all
just-
like that was the thing. We're
yes,
taking the money.
Taking the money. And he's like,
then-
these
but
are
I'm
people's...
keeping this one.
Yeah, and he's like, and Steph says, she says, these are people's hopes, their dreams.
Yes.
You can't take them from them.
Yes.
And that's where he gets defensive and says, okay, I live in this town where there's all these rich kids like you girls down here with me,
Yeah.
and all your dreams came true. You have the boyfriend, you're popular, you drive a nice car, but nothing worked out for me.
Yeah.
that is a thought that maybe a kid could have.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if they'd be that eloquent
about it.
at expressing it. And so that's where I think that there's a
So
disconnect.
at the time, I was like, "What's happening?"
Totally.
Wait a minute.
Because I was probably how were we when Goonies came out?
Am I looking too much into it?
No, not at all. I think we were 5 or
We
6.
were young, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it. And I was a little kid, and I was like,
very young.
Wait, so can they keep the money or can they not?
Yeah.
And the thing that's
You're
so
not
funny
wrong.
about it now is as I'm going through it now, I'm like, I never bothered to take the time to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But there's the other part though, and it's when Sean
our
Austin
time.
says it's our time, which that one confuses me more.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't really. It just in my head, I'm confused.
Okay.
Okay. So no, I get
get the dream. You get
other
the hopes
one,
and
no,
dreams.
They're stealing all the money. I'm just going to make sure I've got. They're stealing all the money.
This is the best podcast we've ever done.
Then the lucky girls like you're stealing people's hopes and dreams.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh, I guess you're right. And they put him back. Except for Mouth, who says, yeah, but no, I'm keeping this one because my life didn't come true. And not for me, and this is mine. Since it didn't happen,
Yes.
I'm keeping this one, even though probably he's stealing someone's.
Right.
Because he's Mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Now the other one, it's our time down here, and up there, it's their time up there.
Right.
Maybe I never understood who the hell he's talking about.
His parents.
Grown-ups?
Grown-ups. The people that are defending the Goondocks. Because the whole thing that they set up at the beginning, I've seen Goonies countless times recently.
I'm so glad you're here because I saw Goonies as a child.
Yeah.
I saw it again probably when I was like in high school.
Right.
And then maybe I haven't seen it with my kids yet. They haven't seen it.
You need to remedy that
dude,
immediately
it's-
because
yeah.
both my children love the Goonies.
Oh, yeah, no,
I've
it's great.
probably
Big
only
hit.
seen
Holds up.
Goonies 3 times.
I've seen it probably
which is a nightmare for
I've
a
probably
human.
seen
I
it
should have watched more.
100 times, so I
Yeah.
could probably quote you the entire
Okay, well,
film.
so you're the one to talk to about this
Yeah, I am a Goonies expert.
You've actually watched it in your elder life and
Yes.
paid attention to what the hell is going on in the movie.
And that's why when you came to me with this kind of like I didn't get that, I'm like, if you watched it now, it'll totally
probably
make
make
sense.
sense.
It'll make sense.
By the way, quick side mission.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back to the these are people's dreams. We can't take them and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just realized they're talking also about One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah.
All of
Right.
the treasure that they're going for was One-Eyed Willie's dreams,
Yes,
and
it
they were
was.
down
Yes.
there and they were buried. Sorry.
Very good
Yeah.
writing.
Good writing.
This is a
Good writing.
Richard. This is a Richard Donner film. Steven Spielberg produced it. It is a squad.
Yes.
this
It's
is
a good film.
top
This
notch
is
film.
some Goonies,
film.
and they never
and
said
so when we're little kids and we're watching it, it's amazing. But these things that they fly overhead. But what happens in the beginning is it's very clear that they've only got a short amount of time, maybe just the weekend, that they're going to be living in their houses. They're all about to say goodbye to one another,
Right, 'cause the
a big
rich people are coming,
real estate developer is going to come
taking
in
it
and
over.
tear
Yes,
the
that's right.
Goondocks down.
Yeah.
Reminds
And
me
they're
of Hawaii.
Yeah,
Currently,
they're going to take over. They're going to ruin this group of friends' lives.
Right.
And they're going to go down here on this mission and try to save it. But what the parents are going to do to try to save the homes isn't the same timeline. It's not the same. That's their generation fighting with pens and paper and lawyers. And
the
they're
parents are failing.
And they're failing. And they're saying it's
Yeah.
their time up there, but it's our time down here. And so that's a very
Got it.
that's an adult
So
looking
this
back on
kid-
childhood.
This
Yeah.
kid. Okay, and this is why, as a child, I'm confused because this kid is trying to say,
As a child who's never grown up.
yeah, and someone who probably doesn't pay close enough attention to movies that I'm supposed to care about.
No. You do pay attention. You just have not seen it recently.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm just look. This was it's just the three of us. I can admit.
Look,
I was humiliating a little
everybody
bit.
knows-
I'm a little humiliated.
Everybody knows when you have a massive platform that people listen to that you abuse it and talk about what you want to
what
talk
you
about.
want to talk about, even if it's overly, even if it's, people are going to realize. Yes, this is a humble pie for Noel, right? For when people will say to me that you know too many random things. Well, I don't. I'm a idiot.
There's some regions that you don't
when it comes to this.
they're not your specialty.
Not at all.
And Goonies is not one of them.
Yes. So I just want to put that out there, everybody. That there you go. So okay, no, all right. So I think that as a kid, I was confused because what kid at that age, or certainly for me at the time, would understand the concept of we're going to fix the problem because mom and dad can't.
Yes.
Is what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
you're spot on.
Okay.
You're spot on. And that's because I truly believe that when you're a 20, 30, 40-year-old writer and you're reflecting on childhood and you're writing about being kids and saving the day, you can compare. You have
'cause
nostalgia on your
sometimes
side.
you look at memory and you'll think, you look at the memory as it was, but you also now have your current context, you always pepper in new information. When you look at your memory of like, yeah, but then I thought that and that. It's like, wait, I didn't actually know that.
Exactly. Isn't it in Stand By Me that Richard Dreyfuss is narrating the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a movie that does it right in terms of where you can really justify some super profound, heavy stuff because the adult is chiming in. And you're like, okay, the only way you have this understanding of things that are going wrong for these kids is from an adult perspective because we all remember being little kids and there's a lot of things that are happening that you don't necessarily understand and even if they are terrible things it just is gonna take a minute and then when you're an adult that lands inside in a way called trauma and you behave a certain way and then one day you're with your friends and you have to zoom into your mind and you go, oh, I reacted that way because that one time that adult yelled at me and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, my gosh.
How it manifests. But at the time, you just don't have that ability to call out necessarily what
Which I think
Right.
is kind of what the issue with today's like young adults or kids movies are today is that, like you said, Jakey, they're all written by middle-aged, usually men.
Right.
If today's
a
movies
lot of the
a
times,
lot of the times.
That's starting to change a little bit.
Starting to definitely.
Yeah.
It's getting we have
It is.
perspective, you know, as we're writing these very powerful stories, you know, John Green stuff and all that, The Fault in Our Stars. But like when you're a high schooler, you don't think like John Green thinks.
Not at all.
You think like a high schooler. You don't have these profound thoughts, and they're being narrated by a high schooler. But the thoughts that are in your head are never like a John Green narration, right?
No.
When I'm in high school, I'm just kind of flowing with it and kind of confused about everything, right? And I think that's the genius of like Stand By Me was you're able to have that perspective of an older person because he's remembering his past in an adult voice.
And he can reflect.
And he can reflect versus like kids today are represented by a very, very elderly person, you know?
Yes.
And I don't think it works.
Yes. I love that as Clayton's giving this really great thought, right now Noel has all of his vitamins
All
and
of the
minerals
vitamins in the world.
and in front of him
my
right now.
gosh.
And so we are truly showing we are older.
Wait.
Older
Don't
adults.
touch it. Don't touch it. I'm going to take this photo and I'm going to put it on the YouTube. Hold on.
I'm going to, I have all the vitamins. I have all of them.
And you smell delightful.
And it's
There's
the
so
whole
many.
room now smells like vitamins because I just opened
There
this
are
little
so
box.
many. Oh, hold on,
There's
let me
a
count.
million vitamins here. So like,
Would you take all those at the
like
same
at
time?
least 4 of these are for my
Oh, yeah,
God
of course.
dang it, Noel. No, wait a minute. You don't take all those at the same time, do you?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to gulp them all down at once. I'm not an animal. I know people who do.
Yeah.
I know people who do. There's people. My brother could just take the handfuls, boom, in the mouth, drop them. He's a machine. He's a beast. He's a beast. I can't do that.
Vitamins, man.
Yeah, I say jokingly, but it's can't I say?
No, you can't.
Well,
It's a clinical term.
it is. It is. I prefer you use characters from Goonies to describe it.
Okay.
Mouth.
Your chunk. Your mouth. Your data. Just use those.
So no, it's just you know, you get older and you need a little like testosterone and like all the different the different supplements that keep
You know what's amazing?
They keep you
don't-
manly. Yeah, and so I
don't take any,
I
and
say
I'm looking
the
at
word
you, and I'm
chunk.
realizing.
Chunk.
But what I mean is I'm trying to stay like
staying healthy.
vibrant.
Yeah,
And so
vibrant
like
is
a
alive.
whole stack of these, like it's called. There's some like Vital Man or something. Is what they call it. Yeah, isn't that hilarious?
Yeah,
this
dude.
Is,
It's
see, this is
pronounced
Noel.
Vitalman.
This is Noel. If Noel was ever more vulnerable,
This
to
is the most
audience,
vulnerable
this is it.
Noel.
This
that
is
we're
naked
getting.
Noel.
Noel
everybody.
doesn't know anything about Goonies, and Noel takes vitamins to help his penis.
I'm not, guys.
chunk.
I'm not.
His chunk. His chunk.
His
His
chunk.
chunk.
My is just fine for the record.
God bless it. Okay.
It's doing. I'll
just
have
so-
everybody know.
Just so the audience is
It's
aware.
a great one.
Thanks for tuning
I
into the
get a lot of
Biofriendly
good- I
podcast,
get a
guys.
lot
We're
of-
really happy you're here at this environmental
Strong like
podcast.
bull.
A lot of good compliments.
Or you're gonna say, Clayton?
Satisfaction guaranteed.
Many compliments from one person.
Well, it's only one person that
the only
needs
person
to
that
matter.
matters.
Exactly.
Only person that
No,
matters.
just so the audience knows, this is an amazing amount of vitamins. Wait. Count, please, can you give me a count, please?
Well, this one I'm doing right now is 5. There's total. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
he literally threw down a pile of 16 different colored pills.
And if you watch the show, you'll see an image of it as this episode.
Exactly.
plays.
Oh yeah. By the way,
YouTube.
we're
As it
putting
plays.
new visuals.
We're putting YouTube's back up.
on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Right. It's back on
Not
YouTube.
videos of us.
No.
You listen to the show. So we know a lot of people consume their content by just putting on YouTube and like doing stuff around their house. That's like a thing that people do. And so we're like,
Exactly.
well, we need to make it still available on YouTube, even if we're not a video. So we're doing kind of a fun thing where there's some images and it kind of cycles through what we talk about. So obviously this episode will have some kind of Goonies graphic at the beginning.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%. And just so you're aware, also, Noel is now currently popping more pills.
Just to be also accurate
By
here,
the way, none of these
I
are
actually
narcotics, by the way. Noel is
don't
completely health man.
think so.
Yeah.
I,
I'm not 100% sure.
So
It
here's
is
the-
Los Angeles, and I may have swapped
there-
out one of those for Molly.
Yeah.
But go ahead and have a great
and
time.
there's fentanyl and everything.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
totally,
sure.
totally.
Sure.
Okay, so here's the facts. I'm not the person in my home who understands health.
Yes.
Correct.
I am not.
So vulnerable.
So I thank you. Thank you. It's not. It's again. It's another one of those areas where the data I have comes from someone else,
Right.
And then I pass that on. If there's anything you hear about me about health, generally it's actually Talia,
Yeah.
my wife.
Yeah.
She's the one
My
who knows.
wife.
She knows about the stuff, and then she makes me do the things to stay healthy, young, sexy, and to have a complimentary.
Or so she says.
Write it down.
Dang it, no.
He's really going after it.
Now I don't know if she is giving me Molly. She might be, and that might explain a lot of the things that have been happening to me the last little while. But she says, take these. And then she, at some point, gives me a cursory understanding. But I have ashwagandha in my office.
Yes. And ashwagandha is
That
wonderful.
stuff will save the day, man.
Yeah, and I don't know why I have ashwagandha, but I was told take it because it's going to chill you out and make you feel good. Okay.
100%.
She is correct.
And she's correct.
As a fellow ashwagandhan.
Right. Which is hilarious because sometimes you'll be like, I know I need to pop some of that ashwagandha.
I'm gonna need some right now.
Jake is from Ashwagandha.
I am from ashwagandha.
That's right. That's
Ashwagandha, Oklahoma.
Ashwagandha, Oklahoma.
It's the original indigenous name.
Yep.
There's only one vitamin here that I put in because I knew that I wanted it.
Is that the red one?
No, that's CoQ10.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did you say what?
The red one is CoQ10. It's called CoQ10. It does something.
Coke you up 10?
CoQ10. It's
It's made by Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola vitamin.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know, man. It's supposed to keep you young or something.
He's fighting death right in front of us. Is what's
This is
happening.
true.
He's
This is
fighting
true.
death.
He's Mr. Burnsing it right now.
Mr.
He has
Burnsing it.
so many vitamins, they all counteract every single one of his ailments.
That's right. The only one of these I chose is this one,
Oh, the white one.
the white one.
Okay.
And this
Tic Tac.
one is
Giant Tic Tac.
glucosamine and MSM.
And what does the MSG do?
This is
Oh, sorry, MSNBC. Yes,
This is
good.
because I like to run around and I like to jump and I like to do lots of athletic things. I like
commit to the bit.
ski, I like to motorbike. I like to mess about.
Good.
And so that's tough on your joints and it's tough on your bones. And this is this is really good for like cartilage and bone and things like that.
Oh,
so I've
that's
been
good.
taking that forever because my dad, who's another person who's a vitamin, he's like, you got to take this because you jump off of trees too much. Yeah.
Okay.
I am so happy that you brought out all of them onto the table in the middle of the podcast. That is the most baller thing I've ever seen.
This is the greatest environmental education podcast in the world
Yes.
because it's the only one that you can get the hard-hitting
Vitamin
data
Data.
out of the gate. Tangential,
But worth it. Water down the wrong tube.
Water down
Yeah,
the wrong
there
tube.
it goes.
I'm going to sound like a...
Water down there. So
like this from this point forward.
The rest of the vitamins didn't go down the wrong tube.
Oh, God. You inhaled them. Hey, Jakey.
Yes.
Speaking of this is our time down here.
it's our time down here.
Yes.
It's a perfect segue in today's subject.
What?
And one that you'll enjoy.
Okay.
You will, because this is always a place near and dear to your heart, just
Okay.
like your vitamins and supplements.
It's supplements.
Playing thriving reef sounds on underwater speakers could save damaged corals.
Wait.
What?
Speaking of 80s
Wait.
movies. Speaking of 80s movies.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Did I just hear you say, and I'm going to translate this into something that my feeble mind can understand.
Yes.
Do you say that combining the beauty and glory of music with the beauty and glory of coral reefs
Yes.
makes the coral reefs better?
Yes. That's exactly
We're
what I
healing
said.
coral reefs with rock and roll?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Kind of. Kind
What?
of. But remember
sounds, but of actual real rocks.
Yeah. So just what I want you to picture. I'm going to tell you some up front.
Wait.
We have the bad news first, and then we talk about the great moment. And I'm going to tell you to do something.
I just love the idea that music might be helping coral reefs.
Yeah, so-
Am I wrong about?
No.
It depends on what you call music.
But wait, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Both of you are going to do it in a second, and you're going to love that you get to do it.
Okay.
Okay. The world has lost half its coral reefs since the 1950s through the devastating impact of global heating, overfishing, pollution, habitat loss, and outbreaks of disease. The hefty declines have fueled efforts to protect remaining reefs through approaches that range from replanting with nursery raised corals to develop resilient strains that can withstand warming waters. We know this because we've talked about coral
That
reefs.
and awful sunscreens.
Sunscreens, which
destroy.
we've covered that on the podcast. We've talked about this ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum is the word because anybody who listens to this podcast,
knows.
and that's all of you, knows that coral reefs are my thing.
Yes.
And so we have spent a lot of time on coral reefs. So
Yeah.
I think that these recaps are great. I'm not gonna
You don't even
belabor
need to,
the point.
You don't have to belabor.
We all know.
I just wanted everybody in the audience.
You got to catch them up.
You got to catch them up, right?
I'm just going to let you do it
But
because
right,
it hurts.
right.
so
but
much.
right now, I'm going to take the hurt away because I want both of you guys
Yeah.
to sing a little bit of Peter Gabriel's "In Your Eyes" for me, softly as I read this next line. Sound from healthy coral reefs could encourage degraded ones to regenerate. Underwater speakers that broadcast the hustle and bustle of thriving coral could bring life back to more damaged and degraded reefs that are in danger of becoming ocean graveyards, researchers say.
Your eyes, revolution, a thousand churches, your eyes.
Thank you.
Your eyes.
Deep in your eyes, in your eyes.
There you go. Yeah, you stopped before the guy at the beginning. At the end starts doing the crazy chanting.
Sorry,
Peter
you can't
Gabriel.
ever ask us to sing and expect us to stop.
I know. I wanted that.
Could've touched the light, the heat I feel in your eyes. You can't. It's the rest of the podcast. We're just gonna keep singing.
Just sing
I
Peter
love
Gabriel.
Pedro.
Then we can move on to what's that song that we say is every romantic comedy ever?
My heart went boom, boom, boom.
That is my favorite. We do that all the time, by the way, guys. Off the air, we always cut to that Peter Gabriel song.
The only problem with what we
Salisbury
did-
Hill.
Salisbury Hill.
Yeah. So I had you sing "In Your Eyes," but you were about to say something. But I
Yeah,
want
no,
to tell you
it
why.
was brilliant. I'm glad we did do that. The only thing is I got too into it.
I know,
And so I didn't hear
a
what you said.
dang word.
I know. And neither did the audience. They heard Jacob yammering, but they were like, "Did Peter Gabriel just turn up?
That's what they felt like. I'm sure.
Did Peter Gabriel show up at the studio?"
Yeah, the best part about it is Clayton and I weren't exactly sure what part of the song we were on, so we were both kind of mumbling
That
bits of
made it
lyrics.
so good. That made it so good, though. You want to know why that made
We
it
still
so
had to commit, even if we have
You
no
had
idea
to
where we
commit.
are.
You know what it felt like? It felt like we were at karaoke and the screen just went blank. And you guys are like, I don't know where we are in the song.
Yep. Needles on a bleed.
Yes. So
I got a pot of the hot dog on the
So
street.
that's it, hot dog. What I wanted to repeat is underwater speakers that broadcast the hustle and bustle of thriving coral could bring life back to more damaged and degraded reefs that are in danger of becoming ocean graveyards.
Okay,
So
so if
they're
the coral
playing
hears
speakers.
other coral being corally, then it
Yes.
wants to grow.
If
So-
the coral hears itself.
So that's why I did for those who are too young to know, like Ronnie, if she was here, she would know this. There was a wonderful film in the 1980s called Say Anything, and it had a very famous scene where John Cusack wanted to get the girl back, and he stands outside in the driveway with a boombox over his head playing In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
Yes.
So the comparison is we are basically all John Cusacks in the ocean playing music to win back the coral reef.
I love that.
So that's the analogy. They have found that thriving coral reefs, and this is what's so cool, they have videos. There's like the fish and the life and the things that live on coral reefs. When they record it, it has like a crackling, almost like a growl. It's really interesting. It's underwater, but it's like
really
it's
interesting.
like that. That's how it is and that's the sound of the fish and the life and all the things living.
You know what? I'm going to play it actually right now for the audience. Ready? And here it is. Cool, right?
Very cool, right? So it's this very, very cool sound. So they found that they put underwater speakers near a dead reef, one that has no life.
Yeah.
And the moment they start playing that sound, fish and things start to return to it because it's alive. That's what they think.
They think it's alive.
But if they play literally no sound at like nothing next to it, nothing happens because it's like, oh, that's dead over there. We're not going to thrive. We're not going to survive.
Right.
So it's enticing them to come home, to build. And it's all because of the sound, the music, the musicality of life underwater.
Wow.
So basically, if
I
you're,
love that.
Jakey, if your mom ever wants you to move back to Oklahoma, she's going to have to play some 90s grunge rock.
My mom's going to have to get on the radio tower and say, this goes out to my boy.
Play some Smashing Pumpkins. I got to move home, guys.
And it plays, and my body, the sound waves pick me up by the ears, and I just float home.
And you just even flow right back home.
Even flow back to Tulsa, where I live. Yeah. So it's a beautiful motion, isn't it?
That's fantastic. I love that. So you're faking out the fish, and then by the fish going back there, then you see then parts of the living reef then start to migrate over, and you start to get a little bit of growth.
Right. Exactly.
To get
you can basically fake it all out, man.
So it says scientists working off the U.S. Virgin Islands and in the Caribbean found that coral larvae specifically were up to 7 times more likely to settle at a struggling reef where they played recordings of the snaps, groans, grunts, and scratches that form the symphony of a healthy ecosystem.
It reminds me of Detroit, where it's like, look, it's completely dead. Hey, guys, look, there's commerce. They have free buildings. You can come on in. They're like, all right.
Totally. I love
that is exact example I was actually going to say. It's like,
were you really?
What you were talking about there. It's like how areas like so like an area that is, it's funny, like the cycle of communities.
Yeah.
The community will get really like young people move into it. Right. And it'll become like popular and it'll have lots of commerce and lots of cute shops. And then the schools get better because there's lots of kids in there and lots of involved parents, and it gets all interesting. And people go, oh, wow, this what a great community. And then everybody wants to move there. And then the prices go up and then it becomes impossibly expensive. And then nobody can afford it. And then people start to move elsewhere and go other different kinds of places. And then you have less people who are actually living in there. And then it goes downhill again. And then all this stuff gets abandoned and ruined. And then it turns into a dump. And people are like, oh, well, no one's ever going to live there.
No one's ever going to live there.
And then the people in the rich neighborhood that's over here now, they have kids and those kids can't afford that. So they're like, well, that used to be a nice place over there. Let's go do it's Whittier.
And that's it. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's
it's like Williamsburg in Brooklyn, where all the hipsters are like, oh, I'm a starving artist. I don't know what to do. And then they go like, oh, look, there's abandoned buildings. Oh, this is super cheap. And they all go there. And now today it's impossible to build in Williamsburg.
Is that what they call gentrification?
Gentrification.
Yeah,
this is the gentrification
so
of
are we
reefs.
gentrifying coral reefs? Well, in
this
this instance, I think it's a good thing. Maybe
life back in coral reefs.
Maybe there's a Starbucks and a sunglasses hut now in coral reef, but there's an Orange Julius, and we all know that we miss those, and so the neighborhood gets better.
It's a funny thing, right? Because so Altadena, up where we live, I mean, that's just it's absolutely in that cycle right now. There's a bunch of young families who now live in Altadena, and Altadena, when we were growing up, was
rough,
not great,
a place you avoided.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like the hipster hotspot. Everybody wants to live in Altadena, so it absolutely that's just how it
comes and goes, man.
And I think gentry. I mean, it's a name that we have for it now, but it's just
it's a phenomenon
always going to happen.
Happens. It will.
It's always going to happen, and whether it's fortunate or cool or kind or not or whatever, it is what it is. People are going to migrate from spot to spot, and some people are going to take over other people's areas, and it goes back and forth.
Yeah, wow.
And in this case. Yeah, man, we're turning the coral reefs into Silver Lake.
We're turning them into Silver Lake, and we have a resident Michael Winslow in the house, and I want him to give me the best. Yeah, so Michael Winslow is a famous actor who was in Police Academy who can do good sound effects, and Clayton happens to be one of those people that can do good sound effects. And it says right here, they recordings of the snaps, groans, grunts, and scratches. So as I say each of those, I would like your best take on what those are. Okay, so first up, we got the snaps.
That's very good.
Very
that's
snappy.
Exactly
very snappy. Now give me the groans.
Whoa.
Sorry,
Gotta
no,
bleep
I
that
gotta,
one.
I gotta
We
bleep
have
that
to
one.
bleep that one.
I'm gonna write that one. That's 29:36.
Oh my! Let's try a take two on
Fishy
that.
or grown?
Let's try
Oh, right, fishy.
Fishy grown. Fishy grown. Wonderful, wonderful.
That's good.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I wish,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could.
that.
We have to bleep what Clayton did before that.
We have to seek it, but it was good.
It might have. It might be.
I think my table raised up a little bit.
Exactly. I was going to say it might be the raunchiest sound we've ever played on the podcast.
I was very. He's the Michael Winslow.
He's the
of
Michael
our
Winslow
podcast.
of the podcast.
And so there was an accurate.
A
It was an
lot
accurate
of
groan.
A lot of coral just got pregnant.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was an accurate groan.
So up next we have grunts. Amazing. That's terrifying.
He's so good at this.
so good.
Really quick though.
Yeah.
Can you do for me a reconstruction?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
When the radar is having trouble and it's not doing the bleeps,
yeah.
the beeps, the creeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bleeps,
Can we-
sweeps,
yeah.
creeps. See, that's why he's our Michael Winslow.
I love Michael Winslow, man.
So
yes.
good. Yes.
Police
best.
Academy. If you have no other reason to watch that movie, and there's 1,000
just
reasons
for
why you don't
Michael.
even know it's there.
Yeah.
But we've quoted this movie a couple
We
times.
have recently. We did a whole scene that Clayton had to bleep a minute
The
of
entire
it.
scene.
Yeah.
But please, for the love of all that is in the world,
Sacred.
sacred and beautiful, watch Police Academy because the movie is hilarious and Michael Winslow is just a one-man wrecking crew in that
an American
movie.
treasure.
He
He's an
is so
American
good.
treasure.
He is so funny.
Yes, he is.
I can't, so he, the thing that he does with the why are words not in my head right now? The vitamins haven't
Megaphone?
kicked in. The megaphone.
You gotta wait for the vitamins.
I can't get it on the microphone. It's killing me. How did
It
he
still
do it?
sounds really good. Still sounds really good. You can... It's amazing.
That's it. It's so brilliant because they take the megaphone out of his hand and he's still making the megaphone sound when it's gone.
This is why this show is the best environmental podcast on earth.
Yes, it is. It is.
So Nadege Aoki at
Yes.
the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts. She said, "We're hoping this may be something we can combine with other efforts to put the good stuff back on the reef."
Good stuff
That's
back
the plan.
on the reef.
You could leave a speaker out for a certain amount of time, and it could be attracting not just coral larvae, but fish back to the reef. And that's one of the
huge.
other exciting things. Not only the larvae
So-
coming back, the fish are coming home.
The underrated thing, and we have talked about it a bit on the show, but I want to say it again because we have a lot of people who listen to this, and it's
We
good,
do.
good
We
to
do.
get the word out.
It's good to get the word out.
At some point, this will probably be something we worry about, but one of the biggest problems that coral reefs deal with
Yeah.
is actually acidification
Ooh.
in the water.
Yes.
Well, there's a
And
word
this
for
is
you.
this is related to global warming. It's related to climate change. Okay,
It is.
What happens is when you have additional carbon in the atmosphere, you also get too much carbon in the water,
Right.
and that raises the acidity, raises the
Oh,
pH.
interesting. Okay.
And that causes more than even the warmth of the water. It's the acidity of the water that's killing the reefs.
Yeah.
So
Oh, interesting.
something that we don't look at, I think, enough in the environmental community that we should be looking at more. We talk a lot about growing trees, which is great,
Right. Right.
but we've got to also bring back, increase the plant life in
The water.
water.
Yes. Big time.
Oh.
Yes, because that grows faster than the trees do.
Yes.
And if you get it set up right and you have some good underwater forests essentially going of kelp, man,
Sure.
you can you can start to pull that carbon out of the water really quick, and that just doing that would balance the
Yeah.
pH level
I
of
use
the water better.
I use kelp when I'm looking for restaurants in the ocean. I browse kelp.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. You're so reliable. You're so reliable about that. I love that about you.
Yeah, and if it's too acidic, then the little plant life and all the little buggy geese are just gonna say, "Won't somebody get me off of this reef?"
It's true.
Get in, everybody.
This is so that's a very good point that you raise, which is there's just not enough efforts putting in more plant life and things in the ocean.
Well, we don't think about the ocean.
We don't.
A lot. I mean, we
think about it a lot.
I think about it too much.
Because you love sushi.
You
Such
love
a sushi. No.
You love
As we
the
all
ocean.
know, I have a deal with fish. I don't eat them. They don't eat me.
Right.
That's true.
And we've been on
Cut to 20 years from now. How did we lose Noel? Oh, shark attack.
shark.
Yeah.
Took off his whole body.
He was in the water. Hi, little guy. How you doing? We have an agreement, right?
And he
Took
didn't,
off
and
his
he-
whole body.
Yeah. But I tell you what, after I'm gone, I'm going to start eating sushi.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, well, because to get them back.
Yes, get him back.
Yeah. Get that shark back. I'll teach you. I'll teach you.
Yeah,
I'm going to learn you.
But you love the ocean, but not a lot of people think about the ocean.
I think it's so much easier to think about what you can see.
Sure.
But people have no idea what's down there. They have no idea what's going on in there. They just don't, because it's hard to breathe in the water.
Yeah, it is.
What's so fascinating to me is we can go pretty freaking far out in space. We could literally send. I mean, how far is the
Voyager?
Yeah,
it's past Pluto. It's now in the. It's outside of our
well
solar
outside
system.
of the solar system.
So freaking far,
Yeah,
right?
and it took us forever to do that.
But we cannot physically throw a drone down into the depth of the Marianas Trench without it completely imploding and getting destroyed.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that is the most mind-blowing thing to me.
It's the same reason that we struggle to know what's going on in Venus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Go on.
there's so much pressure.
Oh.
Yeah, because Venus, this is something we've also said a lot in the podcast.
Yeah.
So everybody in the podcast now would be able to tell you very quickly that Venus, the atmosphere is kind of similar to like hand sanitizer.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the and sorry to catch everybody, if you're just catching everybody up. I know you've heard this before, but it's when you're going to Mars and you're doing a mission there. It's I think they call it 2 minutes of panic, and when you are going to Venus, it's 2 hours of boredom. Like that's the way that they describe it, because when you're landing on Mars, there's no atmosphere, so they're doing everything they can to try to keep that thing from crash landing once it hits the ground.
Okay.
Right, because it's just there's no like throwing up parachutes. A little bit works, but not like
Right.
you've got to have some. You've got to have some.
There's got to be something in the air.
You need some
to-
oxygen. You need something to hold it back from.
Otherwise it crashes, right? So
Right.
that's one problem. When you are dropping something to land on Venus, it's like it's like a very like dense like fire and pressure proof cube that you drop, and it just falls slowly through what's equivalent to hand sanitizer. By the time it gets to the bottom, it's like being at the bottom of the ocean. You just get crushed. It just
plop.
It gets crushed and it gets burned. And all that heat from that crazy global warming effect that you have on Venus, then also just incinerates anything that gets to the surface. So it's a combination of incineration and pressure that destroys whatever they put down there.
Yeah.
So there's so many. The potential of our oceans to have like the most insane alien type life forms living in the bottom of our oceans that we'll never ever be able to see ever. Yeah. Right. That blows my mind.
I don't know if you would say never, because we keep getting better at making stuff.
And what
you just need something that can withstand the pressure.
And what did we learn?
Yeah.
Speakers, playing songs, playing their sounds brings them out.
Yeah.
So you know what? We
Rock
just
and roll.
gotta just start swimming with speakers.
Swimming with
Let's
speakers.
just swim with speakers.
Do you know what? I feel like every single scuba diver should be given a boombox.
Absolutely, Bluetooth speaker
can
on
say
every scuba
anything
diver, and
to
just
those
swim at
fishies.
low depths.
Yes.
And just
they have to hold it like they did in the
Totally.
80s. The
Totally.
boombox on the shoulder.
Yep.
Yes,
Walking around with the
Yes.
flex, but swimming.
me to
exactly. And then what you're going to get is the secrets of the ocean. We don't have to go to them. They come to us.
The ocean will come to
They
us.
come to us.
It'll be like the abyss when what they
Yes.
cut out with the giant tidal wave,
I
about
love
to
that
destroy
freaking
all of
movie.
humanity.
Yeah.
And then they go, just kidding.
Just kidding.
kidding.
We're cool. We're cool.
man.
You played some pretty sweet jams down here for me. Appreciate it. It's been really it's been kind of quiet down here. You know what I mean? A couple million years of just nothing but me and Earl.
freaking Earl.
He's got a light hanging down in front of his
Oh,
face.
that
my
guy's
God.
such a. I mean, he's so vain. He's like, look at me, guys. I got a light in front of me, illuminated.
So this was one of those stories that when I saw it, Clayton and I are always kind of digging out there for something fun. And it's not, this isn't one where we could spend, an hour dissecting what this is about. It was just good news. Just good news. Just a cool discovery.
How cool would that be if that's all it takes to get our reefs back?
Amazing.
Is like just
Amazing.
the
Just-
sound of its own
Yeah.
like habitat.
Underwater PA systems will save the ocean. It's
amazing.
Right? And we get more green, like Noel said, which is we get more people, the coral reefs coming back, more life underwater coming back to life, and that will reduce the acidification.
Yeah.
Hey
the
guys,
ocean.
plant a tree and plant some kelp.
Go swimming. Yeah, right.
Go
right,
plant
right.
some kelp.
Go plant some kelp, buddy.
That's a charity. That's
go.
a charity in like a parody film where it's like we get involved with all these other charity organizations like Arbor Day and whatnot. But if you had one that was called the Plant Some Kelp, and they're like, this charity is a disaster. People keep drowning. They keep going under the water and trying to plant down.
For every bowl of seaweed salad you get, we plant kelp.
It's 8,000 feet to the bottom, and the person is trying to plant some kelp.
Just can't do it. I keep dying down here.
Keep dying down here. It's a backfire charity. Yeah. But yes,
no,
plant
but
some kelp.
it's a government or environmental or humanitarian project that can be done by people who know what they're doing.
Yes. By the ocean conservancies of the world, the people that are getting out there and after it. And maybe one day the three of us will be on an ocean liner out there.
I want to be on an ocean liner.
I want to go
could be
on the QE2.
Yeah, and we could have little skipper hats and matching anchor tattoos. And we can go save the ocean, baby.
That would be fun. Hey, that sounds like a field trip.
I can always count on you guys. Well, that's what I love. It's like if there's a song to be sung, you will sing it. You will sing it. But that was it.
I learned some things.
You learned some things.
I
You learned
did.
about Goonies.
I did.
We learned about how vulnerable you can be with your vitamins.
I am very vulnerable.
And we learned about Peter Gabriel
in your eyes.
In your eyes, singing those coral reefs back to life.
They're singing them back to life. I think that's going to be great. I think it's a really, really cool solution. I think everything we can do to keep them rocking, we've got to do. And that includes, yes, think about the sunscreen that you're wearing. Try to do reef-safe sunscreen.
Yes.
Anything that you can do in your world to help reduce pollution, because that has an effect. Anything that you can do to, plant a tree to increase the, increase the absorption of CO2. Let's get that done.
Yeah.
I think these are all important. Just because there's a larger project that could be done to fix that problem more quickly doesn't mean that the little things that we all do don't make a difference.
Yeah.
But we do kind of need to handle the acidification because just going to keep dying.
Next time you're in the water, I want you to say, this is our time. Down here.
Down here.
It's their time. Up there.
Up there.
But you need to be taking care of what's going on down there.
Down. Oh, my God.
It's a perfect comparison.
Oh, my God. Why wasn't I listening to Goonies back then?
Right.
Why didn't I know?
Full circle.
Comes full circle.
Why didn't I understand at the time when I could have made a difference?
But the important thing is now.
Yeah.
You now get it.
I get it.
And next time we go swimming, it's
It
our
took
time.
you 22 years from when you were 6 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my
Here
gosh,
I
he's
am, a
not 30 yet.
28-year-old.
Are you already 30?
No,
you're 30.
30 yet. It was 28.
Oh my God, I thought.
Noel
Guys.
Carroll, CEO.
Guys.
28 years old.
Guys.
At 28, I don't think he needs that
He's in
many
the 30
vitamins.
before 30. Under 30.
30 before 30.
Before 30. Under 30.
I'm one of the top 30-year-olds that's not 30 years old.
There needs to be a Forbes list of just like all these successful people in there, and that you just look and they're all, it's like the the 30 under 30 or whatever, and there's one guy that looks like an 85-year-old dude just sitting, you're like, what the hell?
He's like, yeah, no, that's Charlie Spilberstein. And he's not yet 30.
Yeah. It's got Benjamin Button disease.
That's right.
Anyway, but it's time. It's your time to shine.
This is our time.
I feel it.
time.
I feel it.
You guys, thank you for always tuning in on the Biofriendly podcast. We're grateful that we still have you as an audience. And welcome to new listeners. If you've never been here before, this is a show where we educate you, but we also have a laugh. We have a laugh or two. And the boys will sing a song, and Clayton will make some noises, and we'll recap some pop culture for you. But at the end of the day, you will now go to your next dinner party or your family affair, and you'll stand there and you'll go, you know what they're doing now to save the coral reefs? They're playing speakers, man.
They're playing coral reef
They're
sounds.
playing coral reef sounds, and things are coming back to life.
And
It's
they
just a
sound
thing.
just like this.
Yeah. Bleep that. So make sure you tell people to listen to the Biofriendly podcast. Share, subscribe. Make sure you're posting it, you're tweeting it, you're doing Xing it or whatever it is.
Yeah, X that.
Rub it down.
God dang it. So close.
We really went hard today. On we did.
I have my bleep list
in
is
our
massive.
defense, in our defense, the
defense.
show, if it seemed like we were
Crazy.
a little crazy,
Yes.
a little loopy,
Yes.
maybe a little less sharp than normal,
Yes.
We were out until 11 p.m. last night watching a movie called Hundreds of Beavers.
This is true. This is true. We went and saw a movie in the middle of the week.
In the middle of the week. Because that was when it was available. We went to some theater in Beverly Hills. I have no idea what it's called again.
The Lumiere Music Box.
The Lumiere Music Box. Yeah. Cute little theater, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was nice. It was good.
But boys, what'd you think?
Wow.
Absolutely insane. It was like if Buster Keaton and Looney Tunes and Three Stooges and it was like just
all dropped acid.
Yeah.
It honestly was one of the funniest movies I've seen in a very long time.
I haven't laughed that hard in a theater in a long time.
It was spectacular. It was just well thought out.
Yeah,
it was well thought out. Like, because yes, the way they did it was very unique.
Very unique.
It was a live action cartoon, basically.
Yeah.
The way that they presented it, like you said, the black and white. The effects were mostly cartoon effects.
Yep. And it's a silent film.
It's a silent film.
Yep. I mean, not like a cheesy, like we're trying to be silent. It's like, no, there's no dialogue.
So it's a dialogue-free film.
Yeah.
There are sound effects.
And grunts.
The sound effects are hilarious. So like there's Foley. There's all like there is sound.
Yeah.
But there is no dialogue except for like one or two. Like one exception, I think, in the middle of the movie where there's one word that's said. But apart from that, it's grunts and noises and whatever else. And
it's basically snaps, groans, grunts, and scratches, which was the speakers that lured us into the theater.
That's exactly right. That's what brought us in.
Exactly right.
Science, man.
That's exactly right.
Science.
Yeah, science. Science brought us in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot recommend that movie enough. And I believe it's on streaming now, but if you could see it in the movie theater, check your local listings because it is a live experience. You have to go there to see it. I mean, it's wonderful.
It's really good. Yeah. It's really, 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 really fun, man. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's a fun time. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're a little sleepy.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we're
a little
late.
sleepy. So we cursed a little. We got a little wacky.
Talked about some chunk.
Talked about chunk.
Oh, I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say
about that movie?
Yeah.
Not the most, but what I thought was a really good idea and a funny one.
Okay.
Is you have the problem of we're doing animals. And so there's lots of ways that people solve animals. Sometimes you actually have trained animals.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have CG animals. Sometimes you have cartoon animals.
Yeah.
They just put people in animal outfits.
Like really awesome, huge, like mascot.
Yes.
And
outfits.
after a while, you kind of forgot.
You just believed it.
You just bought that those are beavers. Oh, that's a horse. You just went with it. You didn't care at all. They didn't have to have the real animal, and it didn't have to be animated. It didn't have to. It was just like cool. It's that animal.
Yeah.
It worked great.
And I think the thing that was so cool about it is all of this obviously made for a stylistically interesting thing to look at.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that wasn't the best part of the movie. And that was the lesson for all you young filmmakers out there is yes, having something stylistically interesting to look at is good.
Yeah.
Solving problems with odd solutions is okay.
Yeah.
If you've thought about what the hell the story is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because as crazy as all of it was, the story was perfectly cohesive.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Everything that you would want to have happen in the story happened in the story. The things that you didn't expect also happened in the story. And by the end of it, you have had a resolution that makes you go on a journey and a joyride. It is a really well thought out story.
It was. It was.
And I think you put that with the jokes and the style, and you've got one of the best movies that's ever been made.
Yeah, absolutely.
As crazy as it sounds, because it's called Hundreds of Beavers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's a movie. Every now and then, somebody has to make something that you go, I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
I've never experienced that before, because that's what the medium's for, right? To push the boundaries and try something new. And that group. Absolutely did that.
Absolutely did.
So crew of 4 in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Like
just one of our favorite places.
Yeah. Oh, one of our favorite places. Yeah. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah. So go see it. You'll like it.
Go see it.
Yep.
I'm not even worried about it. Yeah. Sometimes you make a recommendation and then you'll think like, oh God, I hope that I'm not wrong. I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah,
go see it. You will like it.
You'll have a blast.
Change your dang life.
Yeah. Yep. And we have been just as inspiring, I know, at being a beacon of light in your gloomy environment.
The worst podcast in history. Is that right?
I think so.
The dumbest, smartest podcast that exists.
So close. But that makes sense. That makes sense. When you see an episode, be excited because we be busy up here.
I always forget this next one.
Of course.
Bring in the science of funk.
Yes. Science of funk, for sure. And we have new ones, by the way, that aren't on here, I don't think.
Whoa.
You heard it here second. was the next one. And then there's one written beneath, but I thought there was one where we didn't have enough room on the paper. Maybe not. It's right underneath it.
Or is it on the back?
It's gone.
Oh, poopy pants.
It's okay. We'll listen to the last show.
Yeah.
Or we'll just forget it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Give us the love we deserve, dadgummit.
There you go.
So funny. You know, here's
love
the funniest thing about this. So we forget the
tags.
The tags.
It's been
every
going
week.
on for 250 years.
Clayton wrote the tags down very kindly.
Very kindly. Because we
was-
used to have to do it by memory as
Right.
Veronica looked at the list.
Right.
And we
that's probably better because we
struggled.
learned them that way, and
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
learning them this way. So maybe we got to probably think with this again.
Do you think we should try?
I don't know. I mean, it's maybe we got it because I really
They're not staying
They're
in
not
there.
sticking.
Yeah.
They're not
Okay,
sticking.
okay.
But the point I was going to make, and maybe I made this every week, and maybe I made it last week, and if I did, I apologize. It's
You didn't make it last week. I know that for sure because we didn't have a show last week.
Okay, 2 weeks ago.
That's fair.
It's really dark in this room.
It is.
It's really dark. I
is.
can't see much of anything as it is. My eyeballs are failing me. I'm supposed to wear reading glasses.
You need to take more vitamins.
You need
Probably have
night
my
vision
vitamins.
supplements. Night vision supplements.
Beta carotene.
Beta carotene. There you go. Where's the
There
beta
it is.
carotene?
I'm doing it. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
I'm
You're not
nothing-
orange
just not
enough.
working.
Screw
I
those
won't-
carrots, man. Just take
I
the
won't
pills.
believe it until you look like an Oompa Loompa.
I've got
then I
Oompa
know
Loompa.
you've got a
Jaundice Carol.
jaundice Carol.
And
Yes.
that colloidal silver, which makes you turn blue. That.
Oh.
Coral calcium, which makes you grow like bone in your. out of your
So at
body.
one point in time, you just level out because you're red, green, blue, like all they're covered in
It
color.
all
It's just
makes me
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. It
just
makes you
makes me me. But Clayton's handwriting would
It's
make a
deplorable.
pharmacist.
Just god awful. Just god awful.
It's in my notes, guys. Can't you see it? Can't
Yeah.
you just read it?
So it's a
right
combination
here.
of I'm looking at it. The writing's kind of tiny. It's kind of bad.
It's bad.
And it's dark as hell in here, and my eyes suck.
Yeah.
So
And Ronnie, since she's now like working through our podcast, it's like she had beautiful writing.
she did. She had really nice
just
writing.
why we got to bring her
good.
back? The worst
I
thing that ever happened to the
know.
podcast was her not being on it.
I know.
I know.
That was just a bunch
and
of
it was supposed
boys.
to be a temporary thing. It was supposed to be like she can, if she's busy, she can't be on. But like I feel like now she's just like, oh, you're podcasting? Door closed.
Is it time to complain?
It's time to complain a little
yeah,
bit.
we should
Let's raise it up
should
to
force
HR.
her to be on a podcast
yeah,
or two.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time on the Biofriendly Podcast.
Tell your neighbors.
Tell your friends.
Tell your reef.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.